I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact, give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back.
What's up, guys? Master Styles here, welcoming you back to Inside Gaming, your go-to source for all things Eternal Evolution. As you can see from the title, thumbnail, top 10 Triple S heroes in the game. It's been a while since I've done this and a lot has changed since the last time we did this. So first we'll go over the previous tier list, and of course then we'll go over the new top 10. So first up we have at number 10 is Alema. Number 9 was Aaron. Number 8 was Becky. Number 7 was Panda. Number 6 was Skino. Number 5 was Purin. Number 4 was Rena. Number 2 was Sif. And the number 1 Triple S hero in the game at the time of making this tier list was Anpu. So before we get started, the only criteria I really have is making sure we get at least one hero from each class. And of course, disclaimer here, this is just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. I already know I'm going to hear it in the comments. Thing is, I'm not favoring towards PvE or PvP. This is just in general. And again, it's just my opinion. So let's clear out the list here and actually get to the top 10 Triple S heroes in the game. Okay, so let's get started. Coming in at number 10, we have Rose. Rose is obviously the new assassin hero that was added to the game. She's also representing the assassins. There are a couple other options, Aaron, Rick, but Rose is, outside of Korra, is the biggest damage dealer within the class. Yes, she has sheer removal, but again, I wish it was AoE. And she does have cheat dev built in the kit like any other assassins. Right now, when it comes to the assassins, they're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. And for Rose, she's just here for the representation of assassins. Chances are she wouldn't have made this list if I didn't have that criteria. But again, she still does a good amount of damage for assassins. Whenever you need assassins or there's assassin form content, especially whether it be endless battles or whatever situation you're going to require assassins, she's most likely going to be on the team, even in PvP or PvE. So again, got her here at number 10, representing the assassins. No assassins would make this list because again, assassins are not that good. So that is that there. Not really much else we can say about her. Coming in at number 9, we have Aries. Aries is going to represent the Vanguard class. I think they shadow nerf Aries, right? And again, with Aries, he is the best because he got Awakened, of course, and he carries the Vanguard team in situations, of course, for the damage because, you know, once you get Awakened, you get a buff in terms of your damage. But Becky, Claire is also an awakenable hero, but again, Aries takes it by a long shot. Outside of Hindo, you know, Aries is right there in terms of the damage. But again, like I said, they did something to Aries because again, Aries is the one hero that, you know, if you go way back into my content, you know, Aries was that guy and then they nerfed him. And again, he got an awakening, but his damage isn't as good as you would expect for an awakenable hero, right? But again, he's representing the Vanguards, and I like him here at number 9. And that's all for Aries. Not really much else I could say about him other than he's at the top of the damage board when it comes to being a Triple S Vanguard. Coming up next, we have Panda. So Panda is number 8 because again, right now we're headed into the tank meta. Once a new tank comes out, he's gonna replace Panda on this list, right? Because again, what Candace brings to the table in the Gigantifying 3 times, right? You can get multiple times bigger. I can just see the new tank, if you're watching this later on, going to be absolutely OP. But for right now, Panda is the linchpin of the tank team. The tank team's value definitely went up right now, even in PvE, right? You would think it's more PvP, but at the same time in PvE, as long as they can knock down the opponent, they're going to do well there. And of course, if you have Awakened Connor, then that's going to even make your tank team better. But Panda here, you want to get him to Awaken 10. I don't have him there yet, but again, when it comes to these Awakened heroes, they're all at Awaken 7 or higher. So again, Panda here, great. Love him here at number 8 because again, the tanks, they're on the rise in terms of their value. But Panda, definitely, you need him for your tank team. He's Awakened and he's also a Super Breakthrough hero, which also helps out. So getting him to Super Break 3 is a must for him. So again, definitely have him here in the top 8 because the Super Breakthrough even increases his value. And of course, if you work on him, he's only going to be better as a Super Breakthrough hero. All right, that is that there for Panda. Coming in at number 7, we have Anpu. Yes, he got pushed all the way back here because again, we have some other heroes there that are a lot better. Thing is with Anpu is that I don't think his HP manipulation is as good as it was. I think it took a nerf, probably because I was complaining about it. But again, if it did, it's probably my fault. And you know, you can roast me in the comments for that. But again, I definitely still have him here because again, it works, but it's not as good as it used to be. And with him, he's more situational now. There's a lot of options when it comes to the summoner team. And of course, because of the fact that now we're focusing more on the large summoners, then it's going to be tough to put him in there, especially in PvE, right? You can probably put him in there in Molten Abyss, right? I think that's the one. You can put him there, and also in Crimson Rot. So you can still get some value out of him. That's why I still have him here on the top 10 SSS heroes, because again, he still has value. It's just plugging him in with all the other options that are there. If you can get the 6th hero in PvE, potentially he can get added back to the team, right? But again, for PvP, he's still in the team because of what he brings to the table. His ultimate is probably one of the best ultimates in the game. But again, definitely have him here at number 7. And that's that for Anpu, right? So coming in at number 6, we have Rena. Yes, she got pulled down here because again, the heroes above her are a lot better. And the reason why I have Rena back here is because, like I mentioned a couple videos back, I noticed that after a while she started to get a little squishier. There are times where Awaken 7 Durelli will just take her out with one shot. Usually before, she would be super tanky, but now that, you know, heroes are getting stronger, she tend to not be as tanky. And of course, she's stuck in the middle row. It wouldn't be recommended to put her in other rows because again, you want her in the middle row. That's where a lot of her benefits comes from. And if you put her in other rows, she's going to be even squishier than she already is in the row that she's supposed to be tanky, right? But her damage is still great, don't get me wrong, and that's why she's still here on the top 10, because again, her damage, her knockbacks, it still works, right? And energy form content, energy's not really beating your own content sometimes, but in energy form content, she still excels there. PvP, if you can build her out correctly, which it's still tough because she still end up being squishy at times, right? So she still dish out that big DPS damage that we're looking for from an energy unit. And again, with her, she's the core. She's one of the core heroes for the energy team. So you want to build her out if you're working on your energy team. Obviously, the other counterpart is Skino. But again, I still have her here at number 6 because again, I love her damage and what she brings to the table. So now, moving into the top 5, let's check off the list. We have an energy, we have a summoner, we have a tank, we have a vanguard, and we have an assassin. So that really only leaves support and hunter. So top into the top 5 SSS heroes in the game. Coming in at number 5, we have Sif. Sif, again, she's in an interesting situation where her damage is great, but again, for her right now is similar to that of Anpu, where it's placement, right? Because again, you have Wukong, right? You have Cervelli that's back on the team. You also have to figure out between Alu and where you want to run, who you want to run, And that's primarily the issue that we're running into when it comes to the summoner team. It's like, again, there's a good amount of options that you can choose from. So again, with putting Sif in there, and she doesn't really bring much to the team. Mostly what she brings is the damage, right? And of course, you want to get her to Awaken 7. Her Pebbles will crit. And of course, Gobo will just continue to do his slam. I forgot what the slam is called, but he does that on a continuous basis and he stuns. But for her damage is great, but the problem is in PvP is going to be where you either gonna run her or not. If you don't have Deji, then she'll be in there for PvP. But if you have Deji, chances are she's just gonna have to sit on the sidelines. But again, she does great damage. I still have her here in the top 5. Yes, I do. So now, moving on to the number 4 Triple S hero in the game, I have Miranda. I have Miranda here because, again, with her, even with the awakening of Canis, Miranda still brings a good amount of protection for your team, right? You're taking heavy damage. She protects the team. Yes, it's better with the hunters or with energy, but at the same time, she still gives that shield that does damage reduction. And also, if you have cheat dead, you gain an additional cheat dead. Chances are for PvP, right, which was the summoner team to run, was with Miranda, because even if you try to kill Ampu very quick, he still would have gotten off his ultimate even if you took him out. So again, with Miranda here, I still have her high up here in terms of the top 5 because, again, her protection is still good. And the thing is, with her, she actually protects herself, so she gives herself to layers. So in situations where, you know, other support will end up dying because they don't have that protection, but with her, you have to get rid of the layers, and the layers stack on top of themselves. You cannot one-shot her because of the layers. So that's great there, and I love that. I'm telling you, her with the summoner team used to be very annoying. I think it's going to change because now we have Awaken 7 Cervelli, but chances are people are still using Miranda because they don't have yet Awaken 7 Cervelli. But again, I still like her here. Again, she definitely brings some great protection for your team, even if it's not energy or hunters. So now let's move on into the top 3 Triple S heroes in the game. The landscape have changed. It's been a while, you know, been almost over 3 months since we done this tier list. And if you made it this far, let me know down in the comments your top 10, because I know people are gonna either agree or disagree. That's just how it goes, right? Coming in at number 3, I have Durelli. Yeah, Durelli, her value went up, right? It's just so interesting to me how she become one of those heroes that you want to awaken her, you want to super break through her. Her super breakthrough 3 is just beyond ridiculous in terms of damage, right? In PvP, it's a little okay, but again, in PvE, that damage is very great. Again, where there are situations where you need to get points, you know, endless battles, Holy Land contract, definitely having a super breakthrough Durelli is going to 80 in points. So she's putting up billions, right? So which is great there, better than all the other SB heroes. Definitely recommended for SB5. Yeah, I could see that. But again, Awaken 10, but you know, free to play is not really pushing that far. It's going to take a lot of resources to get her there. You gotta get her to Immortal 5, all of that fun stuff, right? But again, I definitely like her here for her damage in PvE, PvP because of her super breakthrough and the fact that she's also an awakenable hero. So again, with all of those components, she's great in PvP. At Awaken 7, she could take out the middle row, front row, just Durgon dropping on top of the enemy team could wipe out the whole middle and front row. So again, getting her to Awaken 10 is a must. I need to do that myself. I know I'm recommending it, but again, I like Durelli here at number 3. Definitely, she's a must add hero. If you don't have her, you have to select the card, pick her up. But again, it's going to take a lot of work to get her to the level of her being in the top 5, right? It takes a lot of investment to get her there. So now, 2 more heroes remaining in the game. We've gotten the summoner, we've gotten the support, we've gotten the energy hero, we've gotten a tank hero, we've gotten a vanguard, we have had a assassin. One class we're actually missing is hunters, the number 2 triple S hero in the game right now. Obviously this may change depending on when you're watching this. Down the road it may be different, and then we'll come back, we'll do the whole list again. But I'm going to give it to Canis. Yeah, Canis now at Awaken, I would even say 5, right? 7 is great because it increases your damage, but at Awaken 5, oh my goodness, all your units can potentially get 3 times bigger, which is insane. Like, especially for like Holy Land contract, where you know the damage is coming in very high. I can't wait to take Canis into Twilight Lands. That's going to be very interesting. I want to see how the tanks do against 18-7, because that's one situation where they need to be really, really tanky. And again, Canis here with the gigantification. I just wish that they would have made Wukong a HB base hero. If Wukong was a HB base hero and you coupled him with Canis, his damage would have been ridiculous. But again, Canis here, just the fact that you can get bigger, and when you get bigger at Awaken 7, you do more damage because chances are your HP is going to be higher than the enemy units, right? And you do 50% more damage, which is nuts, right? So again, just, oh man, I was trying Canis with a Vanguard. I tried it with Jack City, but again, an Awakened Jack City is going to be nuts because when you couple him with Canis, whoo, oh boy. But again, let's focus on Canis here, and of course, can't forget being the 6th hero in PvP, which is great, coupled with Awakened 7 Connor, just beautiful. It's just magic, right? But again, we're headed into the tank meta. Once we get that new tank hero, man, Canis's value is just gonna even go up even more. But again, definitely, I know it's still fresh, but gotta have Canis up here in the top 5. You have to. Number 2 triple S hero in the game. And of course, number 1, the one you've been waiting for. Hit him with the drum roll, please. Triple S hero in the game is actually our boy Smith. Yes, Smith is just, oh man. And mind you, Smith is actually the first dual class hero, because when he dies, he actually technically becomes a summoner. And I know, summoner supreme. I know, I get it, but again, his damage is just ridiculous. I thought they were gonna nerf him. That's why I kept saying, he's not that good. But his damage is just beyond in his turn form, right? Not the regular Smith. It's just the rocket on his back that just does an absurd amount of damage in PvE, right? PvP, a little shaky. But again, if the turret was doing that much damage in PvP, it would just be beyond broken, right? So again, that's the somewhat quote-unquote balance, right? Because if you're good in PvE, chances are you're not going to be so great in PvP. That's similar to that of a lot of the heroes that have recently dropped. But again, Smith, great damage. Man, I must add, if you're a new player, definitely want to get a copy of this guy, start working on him and get him to Immortal EX30, all of that fun stuff. He's going to do well with your summoner team, because again, here's you want to run on him, because I'll give you a recommendation, is fade out, temper out your fade out, so that way he'll die quicker. When you're doing his talents, do not activate his HPs, just skip those unless you really need to do it to get to the next talent. Just activate one and then keep it moving, right? So lower HP on this guy so he can die faster and his turn can come out, and that's when you'll start seeing the big damage. And with him being able to get the additional effects when he dies from summoner, commander, prototype, and all of the summoners that are there, he benefits from all of that, which is great. And this is why I say he's actually the first dual class hero in the game. I think there's probably other, quote unquote. Cervelli is also somewhat dual class. Yeah, I guess. Sure. But it was after, right? But we always consider Cervelli a support. Whatever. Leave me alone, right? But again, let's actually go back over the list and see what we got. So coming in at number 10, we have Rose. Number 9 was Aries. Number 8 was Panda. Number 7 happened to be Anubis. Number 6 is Rena. Number 5 is Sif. Number 4 is Miranda. And number 3, triple S hero in the game, was Durelli. And of course, Candace made its debut here at number 2. And of course, the number 1 triple S hero in the game is Smith. So there you go. There you have it. The top 10 triple S heroes in the game. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below our boy, because again, Smith, he made it to number 1. Wow. And of course, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button for updates, guys, tier list walkthroughs, and of course the Fun to Play series. We also have the Spotlight series. I know I've been saying it for so many videos now that I need to make a video, but I am. Just bear with me there, right? And like I mentioned, I am going to do new No Money Spent series coming in February. I want to do it right around the start of the Valentine's Day event, so that way we can get some rewards and play through that, and that way we can progress a little bit faster. So for those that are rocking with me, let me know how you feel about the tier list. Did your favorite hero make the cut? If not, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Without further ado, I want to thank you for watching. Till the next video, peace.